I'm repairing my relationship with my parents, and the gene keys are helping to illuminate the areas where I get stuck, where I get caught up, where I get tripped into my own shadow patterns and then react in a shadow frequency, inviting more of their shadows in response. This work of opening our hearts takes us to the wildest places. I say that because I have a story to share with you that took a little bit of twisting, turning, and unwinding to really see through a massive illusion and a pattern that has been repeating in my life for quite some time. This feels like a very personal story, and I am using the experiences and events, circumstances, relationships in my life to point me inward, to inform me about me and where I get stuck, where I can release myself. So this story isn't about blame, and it isn't about the other. It is entirely about me and this amazing experience I had seeing through an illusion, trusting in life and really finding such self-love and such trust in life that it affected the relationship. I am out on a hike by the river with Stella, so you probably will hear some background noise and maybe even my huffing and puffing. I really hope you don't find that too disturbing. I found myself in need of a minor dental surgery, and I was saving the money to pay for it, but the savings wasn't saving quickly enough, and so I found myself in a position to ask for support. It took me a little bit of time to come to this realization, and then it took a little bit more time. I apologize for the wind. It took a little bit more time for me to decide who to ask for this support. And I chose my parents, my father specifically. And at the time, we weren't really talking. We would only speak when necessary. And so it was hard for me to reach out to him. But I did it. And he responded almost immediately. And we had a really loving, beautiful conversation. It felt to me as if we were both on our best behavior, knowing that one of us could inadvertently say the wrong thing and trip us into some big fight. Of course, we will help you. Of course, we'll front you the money. Do you need a ride? What's the process like? What will the recovery be like? And the next time I see you, I'm going to hit you in the head. It was a really drastic turn there at the end. The whole conversation felt so loving, so compassionate, so aligned. It felt so good. And then there at the end, in the same breath as yes, we'll support you and we'll also hit you. Fortunately, I was able to get off the phone very quickly before I could respond. After hanging up, I felt all of it. It was as if I had been hit. And as I'm sitting there feeling the emotions of it, feeling my reaction to it, the anger it brought up in me, the disbelief, the pain, my head is already in pain. What are you talking about? I was having a real reaction, but there was something else going on. My awareness was expanded. It could feel the personal reaction, but it also was aware of something bigger. And this feels kind of strange to say, but it's true. I was aware I was having an individual personal response, reaction, but there was something else moving, shifting, containing the personal reaction. And what it felt like to me was love. I mean, the reality of the situation was that conversation was loving, and then words were said, words that didn't match the vibe. Which was I going to turn toward and make bigger. Because I have learned that my reaction, my response creates. Whatever I place my attention on grows bigger, becomes stronger. So do I want to react to the words, the mouth sounds? Or do I want to stay in the vibe, in this beautiful feeling of love and receiving support? Well, I'd rather stay in the energy because I am learning that's what true. Words may be false, but energy never lies. And then I realized that, one of the things that I am currently up against, one of the things that I'm currently have become aware of and am working on within myself is my mouth. My mouth sometimes says things that I don't even believe. My mouth says things. It gets rolling in a direction and it tends to keep rolling in that direction. It's not easy for me to stop it, or it hasn't in the past. I haven't even been aware that it happens until the words are already out of my mouth. So am I the only one who might have that particular struggle? Am I the only one that could happen to? No, of course not. And this is my father, someone I'm biologically related to. Where did I get it from? And then I remember that in the gene keys, the sphere of my emotional intelligence, what is connected to my emotional response, my emotions at all times, is the theme of kindness and weakness. I will react to meanness. Any perception of meanness, I will be incredibly affected by. And it doesn't even have to be real meanness. It's my perception. So here I am in a loving conversation, words are spoken, and I'm triggered into a reaction. Could that be my shadows at work? Could this be the universe testing me, so to speak, saying here is a lovely conversation in a lovely energy. We're going to throw some words here. What is she going to do? Is she going to take the bait and react to the meanness? Is she going to make the meanness bigger? Is she going to enter into a disagreement with someone who is offering loving support? And I relaxed. There's my shadow at work. There's one of my patterns. And I get to dismantle it. And so, not making what I don't want bigger, not allowing myself to be triggered into a shadow pattern of reacting to meanness, recognizing that I'm staying in the feeling of love, support, and acceptance, things are really beginning to shift. I have empathy and compassion. I'm offering another human being grace for the words that were said that were honestly probably misspoken. And then, if I'm being entirely honest with you, during that conversation, during this entire experience, I felt frustrated. I was really frustrated that I am in this situation. And I was really mad at the way things are. And I was feeling powerless. Here I am doing all that I can, and it's not enough. I can't affect the change I need in this world. Wouldn't it make sense that my father would be feeling those same emotions? And can I allow another human being their emotions? Can I let him be frustrated, mad, and feel powerless? Can I let him? Do I have the space? Do I have the grace? And if and when I do, what might happen next? I really want love. I don't need to be right. I don't need to defend my rightness. And so that day, I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. I was very emotional. I was crying. I was yelling. I don't deserve this. Life, why won't you be kinder to me? But overall, I stayed in a loving space, trusting in the unfolding. Like, this is a journey of self-illumination, and I'm getting to see so many things about myself and the way that I operate in the world. So I carried myself with tenderness. And the next day, I was still feeling tender. I still felt emotional and raw. I was getting on the other side of it, but it was all still here and present. And I had to talk to my dad again. And I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. But I really felt like this is me growing my power. I am becoming empowered here. I am being asked to get on a call and to hold my frequency, to hold my energy in love, to not devolve, to not allow any of my shadows to poke up and grab me by the throat and take us off to the races. And my conversation with my dad the next day, it was so loving and supportive. There were no wobbles, there were no strange words, there was nothing to process after it. It all just felt so loving. And so here I am on the other side of the procedure, recovering and just feeling such immense gratitude for the way that I carried myself, for this journey of illumination and self-discovery, for the gene keys for awakening me to what has been in my way and how I can change my relationships by changing my reactions and responses, by finding more love. I'm so grateful for being able to open my heart, and I am so incredibly grateful for the shifts and changes that are happening in my relationships with my father and my mother. Thank you so much for listening, for being a part of this journey. Please feel free to share your questions, your comments, and your reflections. I invite them. I welcome them. I am curious about your journey of self-illumination. I have called these shares Intimacy Into Me See. I have a study group. We meet once a month on the second Thursdays. You can find details in my link tree. There will be a link in the descriptions wherever you found this episode. You are invited, you are welcome, you are encouraged to join us. And until I speak with you again, I wish you such love. May your heart be opening. May you feel the flood of love through your heart now.